It's Maple Hill in the fall and the 2022 Massachusetts Grand Prix presented by Sunstein LLP. It doesn't get better than the world's #1 disc golf course and the best season to be in Massachusetts. We're here with the GMT production of the championship event, the Sunstein Series. We have a card of 5 today. Casey White, Josh Dibattista, Kyle Moriarty, David Fleck, Harry Chace have qualified for the final round. And we have an aggregate 4 tournament. So Casey and Josh are at 7, everyone else is at 4. You're watching the men's championship, but we had 3 other championships today. Men's amateur championship and Olympic professional and amateur championships. Everyone who qualified got a hoodie, but what they really want is the $2,000 first place prize, which goes to the winner of both the men's and women's professional divisions, courtesy of Sunstein. Dan and Quentin were on the camera today, GMT. I'm joined by Casey White.
How are you doing?
And Ryvis Marcons Craig, the executive producer and brains behind GMT. There he is with the microphone right there, welcoming our competitor. And so we're playing the gold course in the second round. And like I said, it's an aggregate score. And we start with one of the most iconic holes in disc golf, hole 1 gold at Maple Hill. And so what's your approach here?
Well, so I'm not really worried about the water anymore. So I know I can clear it with distance. It's all about where I land left to right on the fairway. So I'm basically pushing it way out to the left and having it turn, but eventually flex back. And I'm trying to not land in the Christmas trees, but it's not the worst thing if that's what happens. But I got a lot of distance off.
Second, also shooting
Josh is up next. So this is a new tee pad. It was in play for the MVP Open, and we're going to use it here. Does it change the shot at all?
Yes, absolutely. The new tee pad is severely elevated compared to the ones we used to have in the past. So that actually allows us to be kind of up on top and over these first small pine trees. So at the MVP Open, we had these crazy winds. We were seeing people throw them way out left, like almost trying to hit the bleachers because the wind's pushing everybody so far to the right. And I thankfully was able to use that to my advantage.
Okay, here's Kyle Moriarty. He's our defending champion, and I remember last year he threw it into the water on hole 1 in the second round. So let's see. I wonder if he's got one of those smush wraiths he's throwing.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't think there's any doubt that he's going to throw this one inbounds.
And he's happy about that. Yep. And so's the crowd.
Teeing off 4th at 4 down. Please welcome David.
David Fleck is a young gun, local gun, who got into the final round on the last shot of round 1 and was our 5th competitor. And have you seen him play much?
So we actually played our very first tournament round together this morning, and I had played casually with him or just threw alongside him, but nothing too crazy. But he's mostly a backhand dominant player. He was formerly sponsored by Discraft Underground, but has since moved to an open bag. So he's still working on dialing the discs that he used to know and love after his sponsorship.
And the final player is Harry Chace, who won the Sunstein Open at 501 earlier this season from Rhode Island, and also competed and won the collegiate tournament that Maple Hill held. He's from Rhode Island, and he's the prototypical disc golfer, tall and lanky and throws forever, and look at that. Like a slingshot.
There's something to be said about playing this tournament at Maple Hill, because right now on this card, these are 5 of the best players in the Massachusetts disc golf area. And when you play a course like Maple Hill, there's not one person that has a course advantage, because there's so many players, especially the MPO players, that come to Maple Hill to practice, especially the golds. So it's not one person's local course where they have the edge. We all have a very similar attack and approach.
Unfortunately, it looks like Josh threw it out of bounds. A little bit of a interesting choice there with the forehand and lost it a bit.
Yeah, forehand's not usually his go-to, but he was clearly wanting the birdie there. And Harry is going to lay up similar to what Dave did with a backhand hyzer. And I have forced myself to lay up because I realized that I'm not playing the MVP Open. I don't need to run this birdie. I just need to beat the guys I'm watching. And the guy that's tied with me just threw it out of bounds.
But you ended up maybe a little right of where you wanted to be.
Yes, it definitely played into the scenario in my head of you usually play this aggressive, but let's play it safe. And I didn't execute the safe play correctly because I wasn't fully committed to it.
And Kyle had a patent pending there, and I couldn't tell whether that ended up out
I
of
think
bounds
he
as well.
just ended up on the other side of the wall, but he will be in the green, so he'll have some sort of lift to get to the basket.
There's a nice look of the traveling party we had for this round, and a number of people following the lead card.
Yep,
or the only card, I should say.
And I got my dad caddying for me. So it looks like Harry with what I would consider is pretty routine upshot for him. I'm sure he's happy where he placed himself to approach the green here.
We'll bounce off the
Yep.
board, but that'll be fine.
That's going to do it. And Josh, after throwing an OB into hole 6's fairway, he's got this little gap through the trees.
Not a problem.
Easy bogey. And this is where I landed. So I'm looking at maybe like an Annie jump putt, but there's leafy branches, there's big trees to avoid, so I'm actually going to throw it a little farther out to the left and just hopefully give myself a 20-footer.
What are you throwing there?
That's an MD5. Yeah, I needed the overstability, but I need something a little more glide than, say, a tactic.
Here's Kyle with his OB1 meter stick that we gave out to the competitors. Thank you to Lucky Mud Disc Golf for supplying those with us. It gives you the full meter relief, which a lot of players don't take when they step it off 3 shoe sizes.
Nothing like getting a player pack item that you can use right away in the tournament.
Well, we aim to please. And so Kyle gave it a little bid there, but came up a little bit long, actually.
Dave to save his par. Ah.
And that's gross.
So looking like bogeys for Dave, Debo, and Kyle. I'm going to clean up my par and gain a stroke on them.
That's a nice putt.
I was very happy to see that one go in. Always first hole of the round, you gotta see one good one drop.
How often do you practice putting?
Actually not very often. I typically will just throw approach shots and then putt from every single one. I don't really believe in practice putting from set distances, say 20, 25, 30, because you don't start at a shorter putt and on hole 1 and end up at a longer putt by hole 18. It varies, so you have to give yourself real life scenarios, and that's why approaching to a basket, I can putt one from 40 and then putt one from 12 and then from 18 and from 28.
Okay. Interesting. So Kyle and Josh cleaning up here, and David has to tap in his unfortunate spit out.
Yep, not happy about that.
No.
But it is hole 1, and there's more birdies to be had.
All right, hole 2 back up the hill with an OB rock wall along the right side. You all know this hole. And what are you throwing here?
I'm throwing an S-line CD3. The trick is to throw a disc with no fade and minimal turn. So I like to just kind of pop it on a small hyzer at the trees on the left and just let it turn away from them.
What a shot. That's awesome. Pin high left. Take that.
I like to land there for sure. And Harry, I believe, is throwing a PD, so he's showing that he's got a little more distance than I got. He goes just by the tree there.
Another great shot.
Yep,
Maybe even inside
fantastic.
you there. Yeah.
Josh doing a very common mistake, just keeping it away from the OB, hitting the trees in the middle there with the creek at the bottom. Nothing too punishing in there, though, if you're a good scrambler.
And Kyle yanked on it a little bit.
That disc is fighting through the woods, so he's going to end up OB.
Not a great start for Kyle.
Nope, started with a bogey, looking at another one on hole 2 right here. Dave is a very backhand dominant player, and for now, these holes are going to show a righty favorable shot. But once we get into the woods, you're going to have to see Dave start to get crafty with some late flip turnovers. That's the tree you got to miss, and he just missed it, same as Harry.
Three shots inside the circle.
That's pretty good grouping.
Absolutely. And Kyle's going to have to scramble here, which is a little unusual, but let's see what he can do. Kyle had a couple good tournaments on tour just before this, and then had a hot season locally. And so he's our defending champion as he won the Grand Prix last year. And like you said, he knows Maple Hill like the back of his hands. Josh just giving up. No throw in there, just to get up and get in for par.
So here's for my opportunity to gain another stroke on Josh.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
Not bad. So there's a birdie to take you to 8. Now, what's your putting routine like? Do you have like a mental thing that you go through? You tell yourself something? How do you know when you're ready to execute your putt?
I usually am just staring straight under the pole and just waiting for that right time to strike. There's not really much to it. I've been doing it for so long that it's pretty out of body. It's more just like getting into the zone and letting it rip.
So it's not like a set number of pumps or
Nope.
Okay. It's just whenever you
feel it. And try and hit it on a direct line right at the foot.
Yeah.
Especially on the short ones. The longer ones, I'll give them a little more shape, a little more flight. On the short ones, it's just a direct shot.
Kyle in for bogey. Josh with the par. So you're up 2 strokes now.
Yep. With one of my favorite holes on the course. I think that this hole is shaped better for my shot of choice than most. And in the first round, I severely misfired. So this is basically proving to myself that I'm actually good.
Yeah, you just parked hole 3. That's a great shot. Wow.
Second round FD.
Let's see it again from the other side. I mean, what a shape. This is a gorgeous hole. This is like a dream hole, I think. This shot shape is so gorgeous, and to execute straight down the middle, never in danger of hitting anything, and then to just nestle right to the pin. You've got to be stoked about that.
If you hear me clap once, that means that I did exactly as I planned. Harry's going to play this a little wide, but he's getting sneaky. Yeah.
But a few more inches too far, and that's in the middle clump of trees there. You don't want that.
Not sure what Dave is throwing here. I'm sure it's some sort of distance driver. Didn't quite get the turn, but it looks like it's making it through the left side woods. Not a bad spot to be. You can get an easy par from there. This is a shot that Josh did really well. Because on the Royal Glory, we do play a mix of both. So a couple of these holes in the course, we did get a second opportunity to correct on our mistakes for our purposes.
So who was on your card, Josh, and who else?
It was Josh, Dave, and Keith Sykes.
Okay. And so the format of this tournament is pretty interesting. There's 8 players in each division, and we play 18 holes on Royal Glory. Only the top 4 players of the 8 go on to the second round, and then it's a total 36-hole aggregate score. So there's pressure from hole 1 all the way to hole 36.
I had a little bit of a mishap in my first round. I got a double bogey on hole 6 and found myself in a little bit of trouble on hole 7 as well. And I was starting to think like, oh man, my day might be over. And to see myself at the top of the leaderboard after the first round, I guess I just underestimated the course. I didn't give it the respect it deserved, and I guess 7 under was just better than what I thought it was.
I mean, Royal Glory is a challenging layout. There's no doubt about it.
We were also coming off of the weekend at Vacationland Open in Maine, and Dylan Capiccioli just averaged like 1070 at that tournament. So I was definitely expecting Dylan to pop off once again, but it seems like he just had an off day and didn't make the cut.
So Kyle missed a putt there, and it rolled down the hill a little bit, and he's in the middle of a nightmare start, which is very uncharacteristic for him.
But Harry is cleaning up his second birdie in a row. And I'm looking to do the same with the sun in my eyes.
Not a problem.
I love these baskets. MVP just put in the brand new baskets for the 2022 MVP Open, and I have to say they're probably some of my new favorite baskets.
I think they're iconic after 1 year. Isn't that weird? But that orange like pops.
Yeah, they went back to the same color as the old Mach X's.
Yeah,
and
they look great.
It makes a lot of sense. The black baskets with the stainless steel chains never felt right.
Right. Okay, now hole 4, straight down the hill.
Whack.
There's a bunch of different approaches that players take on this hole.
I never do anything except for forehand putter up the middle.
And how often do you hit that tree?
If I hit any tree, it's that one every time. But actually, I'd probably say I'm just over 50-50.
That's a nice shot from Harry, straight down the
I'm
gap.
probably 60-40 on hitting the tree and parking it.
Yeah. I'm not sure if he was happy about that, but to me that looked like he threaded it.
He's very happy about that. That's one of his favorite discs. He has like 18 aces with that one disc. It's a Glow P2.
Nice.
But actually, fun fact about me on this hole, at my very first Pro Tour, the 2017 Vibram Open, this was the only hole I birdied every round. And I was throwing a forehand putter up the middle.
Okay.
Even back then. See Dave going for the backhand.
Do you ever get up there and jump putt, like on a funsy round?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
You got to try it. You got to at least know what's in your arsenal and if it's possible. So when it comes time to execute, the only reason I don't commit to the jump putt is because I can do the forehand no matter what the wind is.
Okay.
Where the jump putt is very windy.
Look at that kick.
Wow, that was a great kick.
It's a great kick for
Absolutely
sure.
parked. Kyle really looking for a bounce back.
Just off, and he hits the tree, goes straight down. So it should be up and in from there, but that's too
But
bad.
that's not an easy task. With this fast green, you might end up with a 30-footer. You might come up short. You might go long. You never know. I'm very happy with that result.
That's a great flex shot. You hit a tree towards the end.
Yeah, but the tree definitely didn't hurt.
Yeah. Were you thinking it might go in the lake?
No,
Was it that hot?
no, I just don't like to be putting from down by the lake. It's a little weird with the uphill and the wall behind your foot.
Yeah.
I don't mind going long in the basket, but if I'm all the way up against the wall, it really affects my footing.
That's a good putt from Fleck.
Good birdie. His second of the round.
All right, let's see if you can go 2 down through 3.
4.
4.
This is to only lose 1 stroke to Josh, Harry, and Dave.
That's right, because you hit the tree earlier. Josh looking for his disc? He had that kick, right?
Yeah, I think he doesn't realize that he's absolutely parked. So it seems like Harry is actually the one pushing closer than the rest. Even though Kyle was the one that I was definitely most worried about at the start of the round, it's proven otherwise.
So with Josh and Harry at 7, you're at 9. And we're heading to a stretch, maybe 6, 7, 8, where anything can happen. But first we have to play 5, which is the iconic sort of forehand hole over the water.
Many famous filmed aces on this hole.
Yeah.
I've actually never hit it.
Really?
Yeah. Abel hit it in the Vibram Open, I think in 2018.
That's awesome.
So Dave is going with the sidearm here. I thought that he could definitely execute a turnover backhand of some sort, but he clearly has enough on his sidearm to get this shot done. He's going destroyer. Oh, he actually went long.
Yeah.
Just pulled it a little too wide. Josh, I'm not shocked at all with this choice. I'm sure he's going with some sort of putter. He's going to be turning the backside. Needs some love, though. No.
It just dumped out of the analyzer, and it's too bad. All right, well, we know you're not going to ace it because you spoiled it, but let's see if you can land it in bounds. All right, 1 clap. That's good.
That's all you need. Especially when it's windy on this hole, a lot of people can get tricked. Key is just putting it way up in the air on a ton of highs. That actually almost hit it.
Did.
That skip is deceiving from the tee pad.
There's Kyle. See if he can get something happening. Nope.
Wow, he ended up wet as well. So 3 out of 5 going from the drop zone.
Get
Oh, and
up.
Josh is even throwing it almost out of bounds again. He would have had to re-throw from that spot.
But he made it over the wall, and it ended up being great. But boy, that was scary.
That was no chance did he was he happy with that when it
Yeah.
came out of his hand. This is always the revealing moment of the hole where
Yeah.
you think you know where you landed, but then you might be closer than you think.
Good putt for
Wow,
Fleck.
for bogey too. That's a good putt.
Putting straight at the water, but right on the pole.
Yep, love that one. I actually stabbed my disc, a tombstone, into that stump during the MVP Open, one of the rounds.
You haven't missed a putt yet.
Not yet.
Oh my.
Ooh.
That's brutal.
And Harry misses, which makes me the only birdie and him the only par. So that's quite a few strokes for me on the rest of the card. Definitely was not expecting Harry to miss that one. He was already heating up.
All right, so you're going into the toughest hole in the course. And you've got a couple stroke lead here. Does that change your approach on this tee shot?
No, never. It doesn't matter if I'm winning the tournament or if I'm in 80th place. I throw this same shot every time. A flip up forehand. The first round, I turned it over too much, hit off a tree in the water, and that one I overcorrected and threw a straight hyzer over the rock wall of beat. I believe that was Harry's shot. Not too bad. You always can end up in weird spots here. Dave threw a very good shot on this in the morning. Just nicked the big one. Josh is throwing a leopard here, which I think is a very interesting choice. Usually when people choose to throw backhand on this hole, it's either putter or mid-range. Very shocked to see Kyle go backhand here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's +1. He started at 4 under. I think he's just searching right now for something.
Dave very far back, but actually pretty fortunate to be in the middle. And he's going to have a look from there. It's definitely a pretty hectic part of the green on this hole, but you can always make some magic happen. We're trying to figure out if Kyle's disc ended up out of bounds or not. Dan May,
Nice.
local route photography.
Yeah, we have lots of media members on hand for the Grand Prix. We basically extend the invite to everyone to come and make and do what they do. So Chasing the Bees was here. Dan, we had Mark DeBlaze, we had Marcus. We had a bunch of media members come.
So from my shot, what you saw there, I actually took direct line on the infinite line back from the out of bounds where I went out to get a better look at the fairway. And I think I've got a similar look to what Dave has in the bunker I was just mentioning.
Good for you. That's a rule that not everyone knows. You don't have to stick within that 1 meter. You're allowed to go back.
I've used that rule on this hole more than any other hole in the world.
Yeah, because against the stone wall's no good.
But if you throw it in the water, that's no good either.
Yeah,
At least if you throw it over the stone wall, you can take that straight back relief and maybe get a look.
Rough from Harry.
This is for Dave to save a pretty awesome par. And it does. Yeah, I believe he made that exact same putt the first round.
Putted well.
This is my shot for bogey, with everybody else looking a lot better than I am.
Just a little low. It was on line.
For my second double bogey on that hole today.
Well, we don't like a double bogey, but we do like a competition getting a little tighter, which it does after this hole.
Yep, because that's another par for Harry. He might not be the happiest about it, but he should be with me being popping in a double bogey.
Yeah, so you're back to 8. Harry now at 7. Josh at 6.
Now we're heading to one of the most daunting tee shots on the entire course.
Do you think the shot is harder than the tee shot of 6?
It depends on what we're talking about, because 6, I can accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish by being 100 feet short in the middle of the fairway. Where this hole, I want to get all the way to the basket. And now that I'm watching my competitors throw for the first time all around, because I believe I've held onto the tee box every hole except for hole 5, I am getting to see what they're doing. So what I'm thinking to myself is, you just double bogeyed, so now you got to ace this hole. And I believe I told Paul Kranz, I'm going to ace this hole.
I did see Haley King ace this hole at the MVP Open 2 years ago, and It was pretty spectacular. You can't even see the gold basket from the tee.
Kyle with another misfire.
Yeah, just tugging on him a little bit. He'll figure it out.
So I'm throwing the same CD3 that I threw on hole 2, and I actually lost this disc in practice the day before and found it during the first round this morning.
That's incredible.
And then I threw it absolutely perfect.
Oh, wow.
Too perfect.
Wow.
That was great, but actually a little unfortunate.
That's a great shot. You wouldn't take that? Like
I would
8 times
take
out of
it.
10?
I would
Absolutely.
take it. But I wanted to hit middle.
Okay. Kyle's in Nowheresville.
Fairway.
And someone just said fairway. That's a good sign.
Harry with a good looking line. Wow. Almost throws it in for the birdie.
Wow. He's quite a player.
Yep. Looks like he's left himself a little bit of work on the putt. And Dave and Kyle are both in a very, very rough spot on the fairway. This left side early. If you end up on the right side of the fairway, especially later on, it's pretty manageable, in my opinion. But that early left side, when you're by H tee pad, there's nothing you can do.
It's a very popular spot. People end up there a lot.
I always try and miss my shot on the left so it kicks right.
Mm-hmm.
I never want to miss right and kick left.
Yeah, but if you don't get the kick and it hyzers in, you're in no
True.
better luck. So
True.
It's not an easy hole. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Hole 7 gold is tough.
Now I'm looking at a 60-footer, 70-footer being almost closer to 14's basket than I am to 7's basket.
Oh,
It looked good.
it sure did.
If I made that one, I would have been sending everybody packing, I think.
Off the band for Harry. That's too bad.
That was a great upshot, too. Dave to keep hitting his hot putts rolling. Yep. Cal and Dave both cleaning up their bogeys.
Nice
bogey plus.
Kyle. Yeah, but that's too bad. I mean, Kyle's on a struggle bus right now, but I think the back 9 there's plenty of golf left.
I would have loved to see Kyle's first round, because when I saw that he posted a 4 down, in my opinion, that would also be a struggle bus round. Knowing how good of a player he is. But that's the thing, like, it's the tournament style where the basically the main thing is you're playing against all of your competitors, but that first round is just a little bit different.
Yeah. All right, on the hole 8, over the water.
And we've got some wind.
Yeah, that's interesting because there wasn't much wind before, like right now.
Yeah. I think it started to pick up like right when we got to hole 5. And I think that's why a lot of the players on hole 5 failed to adjust, because the shots we threw this morning were pretty basic.
Just a little short from Josh, but so close.
It looked good. I think I told him, nice shot.
My recollection is that he hit that exact same rock in round 1, and then bounced right back into. All right, let's see what
I'm going with a PD, trying to just let it fade before the trees, but it decides it doesn't want to fade ever. So I'm going to go around the wall and almost hit my stepmom and end up OB.
But it's not wet, right? You picked it right up.
It's
not
fine.
Wet. Yeah. Okay.
Just I got really scared of the wind and just really gassed that one. Because typically I would like to throw something that's not too overstable on this hole, but with the wind, you never know what you're going to get.
Harry trying to skip it on, and that doesn't work. Maybe they saw your disc and said...
So Harry got the opposite effect of what I got. I let mine flip up to flat, and the wind kind of carried it and lifted it right, where his held the hyzer the whole way, so it was fighting and getting slammed down.
And David looks like it's in the water, short left.
Pretty rough outing so far for our card.
Fairway's open, Kyle.
The entire field is out of bounds so far.
Lift, carry.
Oh!
And he's in the little nook. He's also out of bounds.
Yeah. Wow. Now, that's a bit surprising, because they moved the T-pad back a couple years ago.
Yep.
And there's Mark. And, we're going to check out this disc. We must be going to check out Dave's. Yeah.
It was close, but we decided we saw water on both
close.
sides of it.
Wow, that's close.
Drop zone for everybody.
Okay, now the drop zone is very scary.
Yeah, so we're just all considering the tee shot a wash, and we're just going to play a little par 2.
Oh my gosh. If it hits the top, anything can happen. He got so lucky that it just sat. Did the one little flip and sit. You going for it?
Oh, yes, but not aggressively.
Okay.
My little baby spinner. If I trusted it with a little more height, I had that. I had the line right.
Same putt, even though you're up 2? Or up 1? Or...
No, I completely slow it down.
Okay.
Yeah. I throw a putt that if I throw it perfect, it can go in, but it doesn't have enough speed to make it to the water, unless it like hits the middle of the wall.
Splash out from David. I actually think Harry putted it into the water.
Yes, he did. Kyle's not really similar, which so I did. See, the thing about the new tee pad on this hole, honestly, I feel like it kind of took out the drama, especially with the basket being tucked away from the water. I do love the new drop zone, however, I feel like the new longer tee pad allows us to just basically pull out a fairway driver or whatever driver we want and throw it as hard as we can. Some players on tour with throwing mid-ranges. Where the old hole was so short that you felt more desperate to birdie it, and the basket was so close to the water that you wanted to risk the water as much as you could so you didn't have the death putt coming back. And I think it created a lot of drama, and I mean, obviously plenty of ace runs, and it was great entertainment. Personally, that wasn't one of my favorite changes. I would say specifically the basket placement.
A lot of carnage on hole 8. So we're moving on to 9, which is a par 4 up and down the hill.
Yep, when we played this hole this morning as well. Josh throwing a pretty standard up and over the hill. He's in business over there, even though it might look a little hairy. I'm throwing a Midnight Prowl, one of my flippiest mid-ranges. And I absolutely love this. But it seems to trickle down the hill kind of the same way Josh's did.
Yeah, I think I hit a tree and then stood up on edge and started rolling. Another forehand from David, which is interesting. He likes it.
I was actually very shocked to see him go forehand here. Good, Kyle just threw putter. That's great. I love landing there, especially as a righty. It's basically a gentle little putter shot, hyzer from there. Harry just going with the P2.
And the thought here is just crest the hill gently and
Yep.
then maybe hyzer out a little bit and you're right in that same spot.
Yeah, Harry hit the ideal line. That's exactly what you want it to look like. You want it to barely get the nose up and over the hill, but then once it tops the hill, you want it to start to move to the right. This is a very difficult upshot, especially to hold the speed.
Not bad, though. I mean, he made the island and flashed the basket a bit. Let's see what you can do.
I'm gonna throw it out of bounds.
Is that out of bounds?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
I was just too pinched on the left to throw a jump putt, so I had to throw like a backhand hyzer, which is for those short shots, especially with that OB short wall where I can't really skip it up to where I'm trying to land it. It's a really tough and technical shot for me.
There's almost nowhere to land it from there, right? I mean,
No,
the
you just gotta
runway.
kind of the key is to get it just on the green so you have an easy par. The problem being that I was so far left that I had to swing it way wide right.
Okay.
And
It's for par.
that just never had a chance.
Hit the flag stick. What Debo can do. And Dave, is he going to go through there? Oh,
Just goes around it, no problem.
great putt.
Yeah, seriously.
And you clean it up there. And that'll do it for the front nine of the 2022 Massachusetts Grand Prix final round after we see Harry tap in here. How are you feeling after 9?
Way more worried than I'd like to be. They're clearly showing a lot of back nine fight coming in, and I just took 2 birdies in a row, so definitely not comfortable, but determined.
Well, let's send you out on that beautiful shot on the Let's see that again. This is gorgeous. So we'll see you on the back 9 coverage. Thank you to Rivas. Thank you to Quentin. Thank you to thank you to everyone at GMP. And check out the back 9. We'll hand out a trophy and a big check at the end.